Good, good evening, everybody, and welcome, and warm kili at the live broadcast of Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences at Stellenbosch University. We are here to answer all the questions that you may cast to us. So I am encouraging you to send us those WhatsApp messages. We are looking forward to it. I'm going to introduce you to our panel tonight. We have Professor Vasti Ruud. She's the Vice Dean for Teaching and Learning within our faculty. And then we have our Faculty Administrator, Ms. Cheryl Richardson. So you are in quite good, capable hands to answer all the questions. And we have our first question ready here. And I think, Cheryl, this one is for you. When can a BA Visual Arts applicants expect to hear about conditional offer after sending in their portfolios?
Good evening, everyone. The Department of Visual Arts is currently finalizing their selections, and all the conditional offers will be sent out by the end of October.
Thank you, Cheryl. Well, we do at this moment, we are still awaiting all the other questions, but I think then maybe we should just inform some of our students regarding some information they might need to know. Provasti, if you would like to tell them more or less what they can expect as a first-year student in the classes, please. Maybe you can also tell them a little about how to approach the academics, what to do and not what to do.
Good evening, everyone, and very glad that you could join us for this question and answer session. So our faculty is the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, and what we study in our faculty is everything to do with the human being, human society, human history, human creativity. So really everything to do with human beings as individuals and in our relationship with others. You may be interested in a career in arts, in drama, in music, then this is the faculty for you. Or you may be interested in a research career, in aspects to do with history and society, politics, international relations, or you may be interested in languages of all kinds. We have various languages that we teach, and we also study literature. Or you may be interested in critical thinking, critical analysis, communication. These are all the kinds of things that you can expect to encounter in our faculty. Should I say something more about how to study, or should we first answer some more questions?
Yes, one more question, Prof, but I would also like you to tell them about that basket story of yours, please. It's all our applicants, or some of you have already accepted, some are still making up their minds. And here's a question, I think, Cheryl, this one is also for you. Do the sports science applications also need a portfolio?
No, they don't. They do the selections based on the academic report of the students.
Cheryl, maybe you can tell them a little about, maybe more about the requirements for sports science. Anything you'd like to share with them regarding that degree program?
Well, sports science is first and foremost a selection program. And that is what everyone should be aware of. So meeting the minimum requirements of the program does not mean that you are going to be selected for the program. So they require that you have at least a 60% average without life orientation, and that you should have 50% for your home language, 40% additional language. You could have maths or maths lit. Mathematics should be 40%, mathematical literacy 70%. Then you should have either physics or life sciences. Your physics marks have to be 40%, and for life sciences 50%. So those are the minimum requirements. But the better you do, the better your chances are. but they only have 60 spaces, so that is very important.
Thank you, Cheryl. I'm sure that is deeply appreciated because, 60 places, so people, do your best. Pravasti, I think this one is for you. What modules do I need to take to be able to become a psychologist? Maybe now it's time for your basket.
Okay, it's time for the basket.
It's time for the basket.
So the thing to understand, when you register to study in, anything at Stellenbosch University, you don't just register for a BA degree or a BSc degree. You actually register for a program. So a program is a specific qualification that you get at the end of your 3 years of study. So it is a qualification tied to your specific type of degree. So when you register for a BA degree, you always have to register for a specific program within the BA faculty. That is the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. So what is a program? A program is like a basket. So think of it as a basket that contains some eggs that are already placed in the basket for you and some other eggs that you may add to the basket. Now those eggs are the different subjects that make up the particular program. So if you are interested in psychology, you're not going to register to study psychology per se. What you are going to do is you're going to register for a program in which psychology is one of the eggs in that basket, one of the subjects that you can take within a particular program. It's possible to take psychology in more than one program. So you can take psychology as part of the BA Humanities program, for example. You can take psychology as part of some of the other programs, such as languages and culture, for example. What you have to do is to look through the list of programs that we offer and then choose the program in which psychology can be taken up to your 3rd year. In other words, in which psychology can be a major subject. And when you complete your undergraduate program and you have done well in psychology, then you may apply for an honours to be admitted to the honours in psychology, and after that into the masters in clinical psychology or in counselling psychology. There are different postgraduate degrees that you can then follow. So that's the route. If you want to become a psychologist, you pick a program in which you can take psychology up to your 3rd year, and then you apply to do psychology as a postgraduate subject.
Thank you, Pravasti. So I'm sure you understand totally how to become a psychologist and really make a difference in the world. Our next question, I think, Cheryl, this is also for you. Is there a big difference in the content you study for a BA in sports science compared to a BSc in sports science? I'm sure Cheryl will be able to tell you about the BA in sports science. Maybe she also knows the BSc in sports science. Cheryl?
Fiona, I don't know the BSc in sports science all that well. The BA in sports science, you've got 4 options. So you can do the sports science with 4 different subjects, with either Afrikaans as your secondary major, either English, geography, or psychology. And then they offer different sport codes that you can obviously also do within the sports science programs and modules that they offer. But I'm not too sure about the BSc. I know that they will be doing physiology and anatomy, but I don't want to speculate any further.
So, on that note, feel free to go on the university's website, click on Faculty of Science, and maybe you'll find all the information you need regarding the BSc in Sports Science. And I think, Pravasti, this one is for you. Can you become a social worker through studying BA Humanities?
In order to become a social worker, you have to study BA social work. Social work is a professional qualification. So there is a social work professional body, and they certify your qualification. So there may be other routes. I speak under correction. There may be other ways in which one can become a social worker that I'm not aware of, but to have the qualification to be officially recognized as a social worker, you have to have a BA social work qualification.
Fine, thank you. So here's one I think both of you should answer, because students have different needs. This student wants, or this prospective student wants to know, where can we find the buildings where all our different subjects will be? I think, Cheryl, you should tell them about the support, where they can find the buildings for academic support, and I think Pravasti can tell them about maybe where they can do the modules. Okay.
So I'll start off with the support. You will find in Victoria Street, number 49, just next to our music department. And all the buildings are very nicely marked. It's called the Center for Student Counseling and Development, and that's where you can go to attend workshops on on effective learning methods and study methods, how to take notes in class, and things really just to enrich your experience in the classroom.
Thank you, Pravasti. What about the academics, the other academics?
Well, first of all, just to orientate yourself on campus. I understand that you are nervous about this. It feels like it's this huge campus and all these buildings, and how do I know where I should go, and I'm just going to get lost. But let me reassure you, there is a extensive welcoming program. So you're not just going to arrive here on day one and just have to find your way. A week to 2 weeks before the classes start, you are already going to be on campus, and you are going to be introduced to every single aspect of campus life, including where every single one of your classes are. You will have a campus map, but you won't have to just navigate all by yourself. You will be part of either a university residence or a student community. And each student community has a welcoming program. It has mentors. It connects people to one another, and the student communities support all the first year students who are part of that particular community in exploring every aspect of campus. So don't worry. By the time classes start, you are going to know exactly where you have to be, when you have to be there, and how you have to get there.
And if I can also just add to what Prof. Ruud is saying, when you get your timetable will indicate exactly which buildings your classes will be in which rooms. So if you follow your timetable, everything should work out fine.
Cheryl, I think this one is for you. Or maybe Prof. Vasti, you also would know something about this one. This student wants to know, can you go into kinder kinetics with a BA in sports sciences?
I think you can with after you have to do the degree BA in sports science, after which you will then have to apply for the honors in biokinetics. And then within your honors in biokinetics, you can specialize in kinder kinetics.
Okay. Thank you, Cheryl. That is really informative. Our next question, I think, Pravasti, this one is also for you. It's something to do with the basket. What is the process for signing up for the different modules or electives? Is there a certain amount of spaces in each class, specifically for modules in a BA Humanities?
Okay, so remember the basket story. When you applied at Stellenbosch University, you applied for a program, right? And if you are admitted to that program, then you have to register for it. Registration only opens next year, so you don't have to worry about that now. But when registration opens, you then register for your program, for the program for which you have already been admitted, and the online process tells you which modules you have to select. Now, some of these baskets allow for quite a lot of mixing and matching, which means you can more or less pick from a wide range of subjects, and there are no minimum, or the other way around, there are not maximum places allocated to a particular module or a particular subject. If you have been admitted to the program, you all have automatically been admitted to any subject and any module that you can study within that program. So you don't have to worry about that. So we have different kinds of programs. Some of the programs are wide programs and some of them are narrow programs. As I've just said, the BA Humanities program is a wide program, which means you have a wide range of subjects from which you can choose. And that's up to you. You can decide what interests me. And then those are the subjects you choose. And as I said, if you register online, those subjects are already there in a drop-down menu. So you just click on click and select the subjects and the modules within those subjects that you want to take. The narrow programs are more prescriptive. So if you do, for instance, a BA Language and Culture, that there are more prescriptions there, but you must take a certain number of languages and so on. But again, that's not going to be up to you to figure it all out. The drop-down menu is going to force you to pick from certain categories of subjects. And anything that appears in that drop-down menu, you are free to choose.
Thank you, Prof. Here we have, maybe both of you can answer this one. How many first-year students does the faculty accept for a BA in Humanities?
I think it's better said this way. BA Humanities is part of our umbrella program. So it's the general programs. Our BA in sports science, drama, music and arts, they are our selection programs. So everything else falls under the bigger umbrella. So we've got 1,100 spaces under the umbrella. So whether you apply for BA Humanities or you apply for Human Resource Management, it all falls under one big umbrella. So 1,100 spaces in total.
Thank you. So there you heard the numbers. So the better your marks, the better your chances, as Cheryl said earlier on. So I think any one of you can answer this one. What do I need to qualify for the drama degree?
I think you can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so drama, like I said now, is a selection program. So so you have to meet the minimum requirements, which is a 60% average without life orientation, and also 50% in your languages. And then you have to do a departmental audition, and your audition determines then if you are selected or not. They also have limited space, so there it is. The better your audition and the better you prepared for it, the better your chances.
Thank you. I think, Pravasti, this one should probably listen to you very carefully. Can you change from social worker to psychologist the next year? So I suppose this student was maybe accepted, and maybe Cheryl, you can also support here. Maybe she was accepted, he or she, for a social worker and now wants to change to psychology or psychologist? Okay,
Okay, shall I say?
yes.
So the first thing that, again, is something, it's good for everybody to know this. If you have been accepted into our faculty for a particular program, and you decide after a week or 2 weeks, this was really a mistake. I really don't want to study this program. I actually want to study something else. Not one of the selection programs, because you should have submitted your portfolio, you should have done an audition already. But let's say you start with BA social work and you decide after 2 weeks, this is not for me. I'd rather do BA humanities or BA language and culture, for example. It is possible for you up until, Cheryl, I think it's usually the end of March, beginning of March.
Within the first 2 weeks of
Oh,
classes.
sorry. Okay. So Cheryl knows much better than I do. So within the first 2 weeks of classes, you can change your program. With no penalty whatsoever. If you are asking, can I do BA social work undergraduate and then postgraduate study psychology? That would be possible, provided that you have psychology as a subject up until your 3rd year. So you must have 3rd year psychology, and you must have not just passed it, you must have passed it very well, you must have excelled in it, under which condition you can then apply for admission to the honours in psychology and further postgraduate study.
Thank you. Prof. Cheryl, anything to add? If they, maybe those first 2 weeks, some more information for them?
I think not about the first 2 weeks really, but students can, if they want to also know, now, let's say you've been accepted for BA in social work, but you feel that it's not really what you want to do, you rather want to switch to a BA humanities, yes, you can do so. You must just contact us as soon as possible so that we can change the admission on the system for you for next year.
Well, okay, that is now before next year.
Yeah, so
Oh.
preferably before registration, just so that we know registration happens smoothly for you, that we can put everything in place. So the quicker you let us know, the quicker we can get it done. I think that's just very important for them to know.
Thank you. Yes, Prof?
So maybe just to make clear, there are two kinds of off ramps. The one can happen now if you've now applied for, say, BA social work, and you've decided, oh no, I actually want to change my program now. You can. So that is already something that can happen at this point, before registration. After registration, when classes start, there is still an off ramp in that first 2 weeks. So between your first class and 2 weeks after your first class, in that period, you can also still change.
Oh, and here's a question for any one of you. What marks should a student aim to achieve if they would like to get into a postgraduate degree in psychology? I think she's very, very eager to become a psychologist.
You want me to take this one?
Okay.
Okay, this is a very difficult question. The honours in psychology, they have very, very limited space. They take around about 36 students per year. And the applications differ from year to year. Last year there was about 1,000 applications for the honours program in psychology. So yeah, it is a very, very strict selection program. There have been people with very, very good marks that have not been selected. And so it's more a question that the Department of Psychology would be better equipped to answer.
Pravasti, you'd like to add something? I must actually tell you that Pravasti is a professor in philosophy, and maybe she can tell you how they select their students for post-degree programs in philosophy, maybe. But remember, she will talk from philosophy.
I will talk about philosophy. Let me maybe just say something
Yes,
about the
please.
psychology. Also, just and again, this is for other students as well. If you want to be selected for psychology postgraduate, it doesn't help, or it's not a good idea to wait until your third year and then suddenly start working furiously to try and get into honors. If this is your long-term goal and something that you are very passionate about, then you also have to work really hard from the beginning. And not only in psychology. Your marks in psychology matter, but your marks in your other subjects matter too. Because remember, if there's such a huge pool of applicants, the department is going to select the best. And if you want to get in, you have to make sure that you are one of the best. So that's the answer about psychology. In the case of philosophy, because it's not a professional qualification, although, bad philosophers are dangerous people, so we don't want bad philosophers to run around the world. But to get into an honors degree in philosophy, our cutoff point is a 65% average for philosophy in your third year. Typically, though, we accept students from 70% upwards is more realistic, but the official cut-off point is 65%.
So there you have it. Don't go for the 65, go for much better marks than that one. Then the chances are much bigger. Cheryl, I think you'll be able to answer, maybe if you can answer this one. How many students are admitted for the BA Visual Arts in Visual Communication?
I am going to speak under correction. I think it's around about 20, but I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Okay, now Prof. Vasti, this one I don't understand very well. What marks do you need to achieve to get on the Dean's list?
The idea of a Dean's list is, I think it's the top 10% or the top 20%. It doesn't really, it's something that used to be a practice in our faculty. It isn't anymore. So there are other ways in which we acknowledge outstanding achievement, but sort of a Dean's list is not something that we make use of anymore. But can I add something here? Because we're speaking a lot about marks, and I understand why you are also in the application process, and marks are the things that count, and marks are the things that count at school. And yes, of course, absolutely, marks count at university. But I would urge you to think of it, or to approach this the other way around. Don't think in terms of marks. Think in terms of learning, the knowledge that you acquire and the learning that takes place. If one approaches your studies chasing marks, you lose sight of the bigger picture, and you often also end up not achieving to your full potential. If you study with a passion for the work that you are encountering, for the knowledge that you are exposed to, and you seek to learn, to explore, to understand, then you actually start mastering the subjects that you are studying at university, rather than just chasing marks. This is something that all students, or almost all students in their first year, arrive with at Stellenbosch University, the assumption that it's about marks and which marks do I need for what. And in a way, I would urge you to stop worrying about marks and start focusing on what am I actually learning? Why is it interesting? Why is it worth knowing? That is how you grow as a person and as a thinker, and as I said, a master of a particular subject field.
Thank you, Prof. I think maybe you will understand that within Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, you are exposed to a lot of modules within social sciences, languages, and performing arts. So you have the opportunity to develop in different ways and develop all that creative and critical thinking skills. So here's a critical thinker. She wants to know how many people will be selected for the honors in biokinetics. I'm not so sure if we can answer this, but I will ask the panel. And then also, will you then have to take BSc sports science subjects? So won't you struggle when you do a BA in sports science and then you want to do an honors in biokinetics? Maybe Cheryl, you can answer that one for us.
Yeah, as I am not the honors in biokinetics falls under the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. So it would be better for them to answer the question, because again, the honors programs are selection programs. So I don't know what they specifically look at when they assess the academic records, and which one would be more beneficial, a BSc or a BA.
Okay. Thank you, Cheryl. So can they take music as an extra subject with a degree program?
Do you want to?
No, I think let's let the expert answer.
Unfortunately not. The music department have very limited spaces, and so they actually cannot accommodate any students wanting to do music as an additional subject. It's only the students that have enrolled for a BA in music or a BMAS or one of the diploma programs that can follow music.
Provastia, I think this one is for you. This is the basket question. How many languages can I do, and when do I choose it?
Well, again, languages are offered in different programs. So what you have to decide first of all is in which program appeals to you. If you are interested in doing a whole, let's say the maximum number of languages that you can possibly take together, then the BA in Languages and Culture is for you. The languages that are on offer in our faculty are English, and you can do applied English language studies, or you can do straightforward English, to put it that way, but that would then be a study of English literature. You can do Afrikaans, you can do Dutch, French, German, those are the main ones, Mandarin as well. Those are the options from which you can choose. There are some other languages that are in the pipeline and that may be added as time goes on, but that is the languages from which you can choose at the moment. You cannot only do languages. Even if you do language and culture as a program, you are going to be required to do other subjects as well. But within BA Language and Culture, that is where you can do take the most languages together.
And of course, African languages.
Sorry, of course. I apologize. Yeah,
and our ancient languages.
And ancient culture. Yeah.
That's true, actually. Yeah, So in the Department of Ancient Studies, there is also Semitic languages. So there is Biblical Hebrew, there's Greek, and
Latin.
And Latin as well. Yes.
So there you have it. There's a whole lot of eggs to put in that basket of yours. This one is actually let's go to this one further. How does a BA in Human Resource works with the different faculties?
Well, it's like Ruud said about the basket. So the basket is compiled out of BA subjects and some BCom subjects. And they work well together. There are no clashes in terms of timetables and so on. But your two major subjects that you do within the human resource management degree is industrial psychology and psychology. And that you take through up until your final year. Those are your two majors. And then you have some elective modules that you can also take up until your third year.
What possibilities are there for a BA International Studies, and how do I choose my subjects?
Well, again, so BA International Studies is one of the programs that you have to apply for and be admitted to. And if you are admitted to it, then there is a menu that is pre-populated, and you, out of that menu, you pick the subjects that that you most want to take. The idea of the program, this basket with some of the subjects that are already given to you in the basket, it means that the hard decisions have been taken on your behalf already. Everything that is allowed to go into that basket works well together. They are not, as you just heard, there are not timetable clashes. There are no exam clashes. There's nothing that you have to worry about. The only criterion for picking the additional subjects, we call them electives or elective modules that you can add to the other subjects that are already in the basket. The only criterion is, do they interest you? And that is absolutely my advice. Pick what you will enjoy most, or at least what you at this point believe that you will enjoy most. There isn't a wrong choice that you can make. Once you have picked a program, and you have been accepted for it, all the modules that make up that program are just, the one is just as good as the other. Pick those that you think will interest you the most.
Thank you, Prof. and Cheryl. We have a question for the 2023, but I am going to keep it a little later. We're first going to answer this one. Cheryl, this is also for BA in Sports Science. What modules would you study if you were to accept it to a BA in Sports Science with psychology? I think you already mentioned it, but maybe this student didn't hear that one.
Yeah, so your majors, if you choose the option of sports science with psychology, is then obviously sports science and psychology. Then you have to do the compulsory knowledge skills module, and there's a physiology module that you have to do, and I think sociology is also in that program. If you want to find out more about the specific modules in the specific degree programs, I would suggest that you go to our website and download the faculty calendar for the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. Everything is stipulated per year of enrollment, so you can see exactly what modules you'll be signing up for.
Thank you. That's very good advice. Remember that one, Cheryl? Maybe just repeat what must they download, because calendar can maybe be a strange word for students, for those who are not students yet.
Yes, so the faculty calendar is another word we normally use is the yearbook. So it has all the undergraduate and postgraduate degrees listed with the entire curriculum. There's also a short description of all the undergraduate modules, what they're going to, what their focus area is, just a nice summary that you can read up. So especially in a degree like humanities or language and culture, where you have many electives that you can choose from, it's nice to actually go and read up, okay, what am I going to be studying in ancient cultures, and what am I going to be studying if I choose English studies, just to prepare you for when you do have to register.
And I know it's also very user-friendly, the calendar. If you go with your cursor on a certain module or subject and you click on it, it will take you directly to that information. So I think we have one for 2023, but I'm going to add a little more to this question. Hello, when does students need to buy textbooks for 2023? But I will also ask you as panel members to tell the students what information is very important as a first year, as you've mentioned about timetables and tests and stuff, but also this will be something quite strange to them. And also Provasti, the e-learning, if you can maybe just tell them a little about dates and where do I look up, where's my test, which venue, and all that, so that they and their parents can be reassured?
Okay, I understand that it seems overwhelming and you want to be prepared and you don't know where to find all this information and so on. And the message now is, don't worry about any of that now. You are going to arrive on campus, as I said earlier, a week to 2 weeks before your classes start. And all the practicalities, you will be taken through every single one of those, step by step by step. Where you are going to find out which textbooks you have to buy, that will only happen when your classes start. The information for every single module for which you are registered it becomes available to you on the university's online platform, which is known as SunLearn. So once you have registered, and again, it's not going to happen now, you only register next year. Once you have registered for a particular program, then automatically all the modules that you have selected, part of the modules that you are compelled to do and the modules that you have selected as part of that program, every module has its own page on the online system, on this SunLearn platform. When you have access to SunLearn, you can click on every single one of your modules and it will open up onto page, I should probably say the site for that particular module, and all the information will be there. Where can I find my textbooks? Who is my lecturer? Where are my classes? How do tutorials work? How do lectures work? What are the assessments? Everything you need to know for each module is on that SunLearn site for the particular module. None of that is something that you have to worry about now. The other thing to say is also some textbooks, in some modules you will buy directly from the particular department, others you will buy in a bookshop, others will be available electronically. All of that will be made clear after you have registered.
Thank you, Prof. I think that's quite clear. We have 3 more minutes. Cheryl, is there anything you'd like to add for the prospective students that is important, dates for 2023? Maybe their results? What do they do when they get their results?
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about sending us your results. If you're doing the National Senior Certificate or you're doing the IEB examination system, we will get your results directly from the Education Department. We will then upload the results on our system, after which we will match it up and see if you still meet the requirements of the programs, and then a final offer letter will be sent out to you, which you have to accept before coming to register. That's important.
Remember that one, you have to accept before you're coming to register for your modules. Now, Prof. Vasi, I think this one is for you. What's the difference between English studies and applied English language studies in the second year of a BA Humanities? This prospective student has the calendar in front of her.
Yes, clearly. So applied English language studies is, as it says, you study English, you study the language itself, whereas English studies is only literature and poetry. So if you are interested in the literature and poetry side, you do English studies. If you are interested in the language, how it works, how to use it better, how to apply it better, but also how the language is put together, how it's structured, then you will take applied English language studies.
Oh, thank you, Prof. And on that note, do we have any PDF form textbooks?
Yes, there are such textbooks. There are also electronic textbooks that are available via the library, and again, this will be on this SunLearn platform.
there you have a lot of information, but we didn't touch on the extended degree program. Cheryl, we have a minute or so. Would you like to share something on the extended degree program for the prospective students?
Yeah, so our extended degree program, we only have 100 spaces, and you cannot apply for that program. So you would apply for the mainstream program, and if you meet the requirements for the extended degree program, we will then change your program and consider you for the extended degree program. And once you are selected into the program, you cannot change back to the mainstream program, and that's very important.
And also that you can't apply for it, you will be placed within such a program.
Yes.
I think we have one more minute, so I think maybe last 15 seconds words from Prof and from you, and then we are done. Then you can say your goodbyes also.
Yes, okay, well, so shall we just say goodbye?
Yes,
Thank you
I
for
think so.
joining us. Wish you best of luck for the upcoming exams, and hope to see all of you on campus next year.
Cheryl?
Yeah. Good evening to everybody, and I hope you have a good night, and good luck with those exams. Study well.
Oh, and then that's it. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy. Bye-bye. And thank you to our marvelous panel. Thank you.